Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is adverb phrase 32. The adverb phrase today is believe it or not. Okay, let's look at the note here. This is a very, very, very common phrase, and it is a fixed phrase, so it cannot be reworded. You always have to say believe it or not. You can't say it any other way. It is usually said to prepare the listener that what you are about to say is something that will be very surprising, shocking, or you think the listener will question the truth of what you are about to say, meaning they may not even want to believe you. They might say, nah, that sounds too crazy. Believe it or not. So even though what I'm about to say may sound unusual or crazy, it is the truth. That's kind of what you mean. So, well, you could choose whether to believe it or not, but it's supposed to be true, what I'm telling you. All right, let's continue. The origin of this phrase comes from a cartoon series called Believe It or Not, so exactly the same name, which was started in 1918 by Robert Ripley. The cartoon lasted long after his death, so obviously other cartoonists continued it, or somebody else continued it after his death, but used the same idea, looking for strange things around the world to make a cartoon out of. And remember, when this first came out in 1918, this was not only before the internet, but it was long before TV, too. And it was even still in the early days of radio. So people didn't have as much information of all these strange things that were happening around the world. And it was, seemed very interesting to them. It was a pretty good, interesting cartoon, a little educational at the same time. Okay. All right, and there have been illustrated books giving examples of his works, of the, cartoons. I did actually buy one of these years ago, and some of them are still very interesting to read. Okay. All right, anyway, let's look. We have three examples of how this adverb phrase is used in everyday speech. So number one here, believe it or not, his wife was born a man who had a sex change, and his children are actually adopted. So maybe a lot of people don't know, maybe that this is not of public knowledge, but yet it may be true. So somebody might say, believe it or not, I know you might question it. I know maybe his wife looks normal, you think he had kids, so you think everything is normal here, but no, maybe it is not. All right, number two here. Believe it or not, there was a chicken who lived after its head was chopped off for another 18 months. This is actually one of the examples from Believe It or Not that actually came out. They made a cartoon of it, or a little picture cartoon in the newspaper of it. But this is one of the famous ones. So this is a good example of what his cartoons were like. All right, and of course that is a true story. I think I read another article where they said, the guy that cut off his head, he kind of cut it off sideways, and the chicken was still able to survive. He felt too guilty to kill it and finish it off, and he used to feed it from its neck, and it still survived for a long time after. All right, anyway, let's continue here. And the last one here. Believe it or not, that famous actor lost all his money and is now living as a pauper, as a very poor person. Yeah, sometimes you hear this about some celebrities. You didn't hear them, hey, whatever happened to that actor? Yeah, he used to be good, he used to be famous, and then maybe, you hear some story about that. Okay, anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it was informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.